Let's see if we can get Instagram up and running too. Happy almost end of March. Happy Friday, happy day. Something's going on. Okay, something's been going on with my internet lately. I don't know what's up. Mercury's out of retrograde, although it's still in its shadow, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm really hoping that today's connection is going to be strong enough that we can make it through without it looking too garbled and grumbly and like it was filmed with a toaster. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, right? Yeah, Friday, March 29th. Here we are, 2019. Once again, this is the theme for March. I have no idea what's going on, but I do have some insight and some stuff that I'd like to share, and mostly just wanted to hop on and say hi. I know I've been totally MIA the past couple of, actually most of this month, and I've sort of talked about it a little bit, but everything's fine, everything's great. I'm just sort of going through what we're all going through, this massive purge, and what I want to share today is a little bit of just the insight that I've been gleaning through my own experience and through the clients that I've been working with and all that stuff. And just, it takes a fucking village, man. This is really a community effort for us to piece together all of the bits and all the pieces of the puzzle. And I think that what I just want to share is my intention and my hope is that it will spark something in you. Maybe it will nurture some sort of understanding or clarity, or maybe it will, add another little bit of the piece of the puzzle to your story or to your picture. So hopefully maybe that will inform you and so on and so on. So once again, I am not showing up with anything concrete to offer other than my own experience and my itchy face. It's like my body, I think, is still adjusting to the heat, although it's not crazy hot, but it's getting warmer and sustainably warmer. So my skin is still like, what is this hot, sweaty, weather? I don't know why that's important. I think it was important for me to let you know why I'm touching my face. I'm not going through withdrawals, I swear. There aren't spiders crawling on me. Also, really quick before we jump in, I have decided to lower the rate on all of my services until further notice. I'm in the midst of this big shift. I'm in the midst of redesigning everything, you guys, from top to bottom. So there are new offerings coming, new directions coming, new ideas coming, new subscription platform coming, and all of these changes are going to be rolled out over the next few months. My goal, my ultimate goal, my dream is to have it all ready to go by July 1st, but it will be a slow sort of run or a slow sort of release, and I'll be kind of slowly opening things up and implementing things as we go. And to that end, I have decided until further notice that everything is on sale, or just been marked down. Really, I've just reduced my rates. So one-on-one sessions, intuitive sessions, coaching sessions, and energy work are all $192, and the mastery mentorship is also on sale, or I've reduced that rate. Pardon me, I don't remember what I reduced it to. Let me look at my website and see. But anyway, the good news is that until further notice, I have reduced my rate on everything. So now's the time, y'all. If you wanted to book and price was a problem or an issue or was standing in your way, now's the time to book. So March has been so intense. March has been, Mastery Mentorship is now $19.99. Great Prince song. Where do we even really begin? I have to say that I find myself, especially over the past couple of weeks, and I'm not saying this, this is the tea, with really no clear idea of what's going on until I drop in to the center. And when I talk about the center, what I'm talking about is your home base, your core, your temple, your place of being connected, right? That's why silence, stillness, meditation, yoga, all of these practices that all of us in the spiritual community, are always talking about and always promoting and touting and saying how important they are. It's because silence and stillness is one of the easiest ways, and it's not easy, but relatively speaking, silence and stillness is one of the easiest and most effective ways for you to learn what your own truth sounds like, feels like, smells like, tastes like, looks like, what the sense of it is. And more than ever, March is really, really calling us to get out of here, drop in here, and find that place and find that sense. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of my own experience. And I read something the other day, I think it was on Facebook, you know, that the channeler Cryon, not Chiron, the planet, but Cryon, Kryon. And I don't, to be honest, I don't follow much of anything anymore just because I've been feeling more and more like it's really important for me just to be in my own energy, in my own field, and receive my own insight. So I don't really follow or seek out information that much anymore, except for a couple of astrologers. However, this just popped into my awareness, and Cryon was talking about the fact that where we are on the planet energetically, we have never in this version of our history, right, as, you know, the past several thousands of years, the energies that are currently coming to the planet would have obliterated us. The ability that we have now to be in form and move through these energies and receive these energies and process and integrate these energies has never happened before. These are the kinds of energies that we really weren't able to access in physicality for these sustained periods of time. And yet here we are. And the thing that I know is that nothing is like it has ever been. Nothing is what it seems. Nothing is making really sense in terms of my mental understanding of it. My mind has been going batshit crazy the past couple of days. And what I mean by that is I am driven to distraction. And raise your hand, give me a heart emoji, unicorn emoji, shooting star, poop emoji, whatever emoji, van down by the river emoji. If you've been feeling the same thing, it's like the image that I have is like, some days my mind is like a little kid who just wants to show me all their toys. Do you like this one? What about this one? What about this one? I like this one. Do you like this one? And it's just this nonstop chatter of all of this stuff. It's like my mind is trying so desperately to justify its position that it has held, because haven't we lived in this culture where the mental, logical, rational thought process, which also is the male energy, right? We have lived in this environment, this idea, this society where the male self, the male energy, not just biologically, although very clearly that's been part of the issue, but the male energy, the male self has been exalted, has been elevated, has been said, you know, this is the king of the castle. This is the, you know, the ruler of experience and existence. And it's really not. Without the feminine self, the masculine self is only one part of the equation. The feminine self is only one part of the equation, and the two cannot exist without the other. Without the feminine self, the masculine self is just a fucking bull in the china shop, knocking shit over, waving his dick around, trying to get shit done, and all he's doing is creating havoc and chaos. The feminine self, which is the intuitive, feeling, emotional, non-physical self, which is, you know, the part of the body that we feel the sensation, we sense it. It's that something's up, something's shifting. I get a sense. I don't know what it is, but it's like maybe I don't have language or words for it yet, but I feel it. I sense it, right? It's like the itch that you can't really scratch. And so the feminine self is the base for all of it. It is the foundation. The feminine self is the impetus. The feminine self is the inspiration. The feminine self is the epiphany, the aha moment. And the poor male self, the poor brain that has just been told for eons that it is the one running the show when really it hasn't been. It's just been regurgitating the same old shit for centuries. That's why once again we find ourselves in this very familiar situation. So we need both. And there isn't one answer. I find that some days my inner voice that's just trying to distract me, it's like my mind is just so desperate for something it can label and categorize and put into a box. And this new energy, this new frequency, this new way of doing things just doesn't make any sense. And it's like the mind is in a panic. And so some days that means that I distract it. Some days that means that I tune into that energy and I listen to it and I engage with it and I respond with, action, right? I say, okay, my mind is looking for something to do. My mind is going crazy. So I'm going to respond. I'm going to redirect, right? It's like when a little puppy is chewing on something you don't want it to chew on, you don't scold it. You just replace it with something that is okay to chew on, right? So when my mind is looking for something then I know, okay, I need to occupy myself. I need to focus myself. I need to be present. So some days I engage it. Some days I ignore it. Some days I, give it a big old hug and pull it to me. And some days I pat it on the head and send it along on its way. So there's not only one way to deal with everything that we're being asked to deal with, you guys. This is just day by day, moment by moment, minute by minute, second by second of engaging with ourselves wherever we are and paying attention to, okay, what's coming up for me now? What does this feel like? What do I think? Because here's the deal. We are figuring this out in real time. I, as you know, have been going through a massive transformation in terms of how I show up, my practice, what I offer, how I engage with people, how I work with you, how I offer myself up in service to you. I am not the only one. I have talked to old colleagues of mine. I have talked to current colleagues of mine. I have talked to mentors of mine or old mentors of mine. I have talked to clients. Everyone in some way is sort of we're kind of been just taken out of the old way and we're present in this new environment. And it is the perception of the mind that keeps trying to recreate the old circumstances and the old reality so that it has a semblance of the comfort zone. But it's not really there. And for me, things have been so surreal lately. Like I even think about this morning, what I got up this morning around 7. So that was about 4 or 5 hours ago that I was awake. And to even think now of like, what was I doing this morning? That feels so far away because time is continuing to collapse. Time is continuing to fall away. And what is becoming clearer and clearer and clearer is that it has always only ever been now, but it really is now. What is present now? What is here now? What am I looking at? And this has also required a very, very deliberate active focus in the moment. Because anything that the mind is still attached to, anything that the mind is still trying to pull back in or recreate or shrink us down to the old version so that we could fit in the old ways, it's just not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. But here's the thing. It's okay. It's okay. Where we are right now is that a lot of what our job is right now, our job in the van down by the river, a lot of what our job is right now is just to be present here and now and check in and see like what's going on, what's present, what is asking for my attention. Because a lot of what we're going through is being done at these higher levels where it's not about our human self necessarily having to engage and be active in terms of an activity. But it is important that we engage and are present in the moment through our intentions. And so what I want to share with you is a couple of things that have helped me over the past couple of days. But if nothing else, if all else fails and all you can remember is to just stop, take a breath, and just sink into here. Sink into this space. Expand from this point, not from here. And you're going to know it by what you feel. You know, in many ways, it feels like this is sort of our, not final exam, because I don't like to create those sorts of expectations that, oh, just one more thing and then we're over the hump. Because again, right, enlightenment is not a moment. Enlightenment is not a threshold. Enlightenment is a journey. It is a path. It is an endless experience. And really, none of us are enlightened until all of us are enlightened. So if someone's telling you that they're enlightened, I don't buy it. Because it's a collective thing, right? It's like a bucket full of water. The water is either pure or it is not. And if there's a drop of stuff in there that shouldn't be there or that needs to go, then the water is not pure. We could say that the water is 99% pure, but that is not pure. Right? We could say that the collective is becoming more enlightened. We are on our way to enlightenment. We are on our way to collective enlightenment, certainly. But in terms of an enlightened individual, I find that hard to believe. To me, that rings as false as someone who's saying like, oh, I don't have an ego. I've killed my ego. I've destroyed my ego. No, I don't think you did. Otherwise, you would be hooked up to a machine somewhere, on oxygen. So, and that's dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. Like, to me, an ego is part of the human experience. You can't be in human form and not have an ego. So the point is that this hasn't been about destroying anything. This hasn't been about killing anything. This has been about creating space so that what already exists, what already is, can move up and into our awareness. And that, to me, is the clearest way that I can describe. And I'll share with you some of my experience. I don't have a phone because I'm using both of my phones to record. But man, I find myself, like the other day, I was doing some work with Demetra, the woman that I'm doing marketing with, and I have these exercises and these worksheets that I'm responsible for, my homework. And so part of what I'm crafting right now is really, really challenging me mentally, and I'm finding myself really wanting to procrastinate. And my mind, more than ever, is like, no, I don't want this unknown. I don't want this change. I want the old familiar ways. I don't care if we were unhappy and uncomfortable. I just want what was familiar and therefore was comfortable. And so I sat down and I was like on my computer starting to do my work, and the next thing I know, it's 4 hours later and I've been playing fucking Angry Birds on my phone. And I haven't gotten a lick of work done. So my mind is seeking distraction. My mind is doing whatever it can to find anything to latch onto that allows it that sense of comfort and safety. It's like, the baby who is just crying for the bottle, not because the baby's really hungry, but because it's a sense of comfort, right? It's that suckling, and that, it's just the experience of that brings the comfort. And I had that experience after I played Angry Birds for 4 hours, and it was like 7 o'clock, and I hadn't been wearing my glasses, and my eyes were crossed and fuzzy, and I felt so out of it, and I was starving because I hadn't eaten, because I had been completely distracted for these 4 hours. And afterwards, I was like, okay, that was not satisfying. That was not fulfilling. And I'm all for playing games on your phone. This isn't an indictment or judging playing games on your phone. What I'm saying is that if time well spent is playing a game and if playing a game brings you joy, then that is time well spent. But it didn't bring me joy. It was like the mind was just looking for anything it could do so that I could just sort of go unconscious and go numb and just be in that sort of zone where I didn't have to think, I didn't have to challenge, I didn't have to go into the unknown. It wasn't, it was just like I'm asleep at the wheel. But it wasn't satisfying. And so in many ways, the mind is just holding up, what about this? What about this? What about this? It's just desperate to distract us. And what I find is that in those moments where I am starting to distract myself, I can physically feel it in my body the body is saying, no, I need you here with me. I need your awareness here. Because so much of what we have been experiencing has been physicality, right? It's been our physical responses to we've had these 3 supermoons in 3 months. I believe every single one of them was at 0 or 1 degrees. That's massive. We've had eclipses. We've had the Mercury retrograde. We've had, Chiron going into Aries. We've had so many massive shifts. And I know there are other ones that I'm forgetting about. Something with Uranus too. But it's always about Uranus, isn't it? But the point of this is to say, is that it feels to me like every level of myself is screaming to say, Andrew, be here with us now. Be present now. Do not go into distraction. Do not go into numbing. Do not go into soothing that takes you out of the moment. Just please be here. So it has been back to basics. Exercise and moving your body. Get a pen and paper because this is going to be the tips that I'm going to share with you to help you navigate as we move towards April, which is just a few days away, and we're going to be doing another video in a few days for me to share with you. But it's back to basics times, y'all. Number 1, you got to move your body. Even if that means you're just stretching, even if that means that you're just doing jumping jacks, even if that means you're just doing something, walking around the block, walking around the reservoir, walking around the track, going to the gym and just getting on the treadmill for 10 minutes. If you don't have the money for a gym membership and you don't have any equipment, do jumping jacks, do push-ups, march around the house for 20 minutes. Move your body, because our bodies now more than ever are receiving support for these massive physical transformations that we're going through. You guys, do not underestimate for a second the intensity of what we have been going through. This is a physical shift. This is not just an idea of, oh, the golden age, here we are, love and light. No, this is physicality is going through a transformation. So the body more than ever needs our support, needs our awareness, and needs our allowance. The body knows exactly what it needs. We just got to get the fuck out of the way and give it what it needs, right? We've just got to create a space where it is safe for the body to say, hey, I need water, I need rest, I need movement, I need love, I need stretching, whatever. So move your body in whatever way you can. Breathe. 10 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Deep inhale and exhale. Breathing in through the top of the head, pulling that oxygen all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. You set a timer on your phone for 2 minutes and mindfully breathe as deeply and as fully and as slowly as you can. Make that a practice that you do several times a day. There's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, it is physically impossible for the panic response to engage while we are in control of our breath. I read something the other day that I loved. It said, anxiety is just excitement without breath. Because you think about that. And I talk about this a lot. The difference between joy and anxiety is really minor. They are both very heightened states. Excitement and anxiety are both very heightened states. It's just one of them, oh my God, you guys, I can't believe how excited I am, right? We breathe and then it's like this breath just pushes all that excitement. Now when it's anxious, I'm breathing from here. Oh my God, I can't catch my breath. So breath is super important. Your breath is one of the keys to remembering how to drive your own ship. And this is our ship, right? The human body is a ship for the divine consciousness. P.S. Surprise, that's really all it's ever been. So driving the ship, you're driving your human. Breath is one of the most powerful things that we can do to manage and control, not really control, but you get what I'm saying, our vehicle. So move the body, breathe, and for the love of God, please find time to just be in silence, in stillness. If you don't know what your own inner voice sounds like, if you don't know what your home base feels like, then this out here becomes really scary and really overwhelming and really high stakes. But when I know what home feels like, when I know what peace and truth and love and all of that feels like, when I know what, okay, I'm safe. Right now, all is well. I am safe in this moment right here. Right now, all is well. Then this stuff isn't as intense. It's not as high stakes anymore. This isn't as dangerous out here. When I have found time to cultivate and to actively create stillness for myself. So again, set a timer on your phone. 10 minutes, all right? 10 minutes. And you can do 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening. Give me 5 minutes of conscious focused breathing and give me 5 minutes of stillness and silence. And stillness and silence doesn't mean that I'm trying to push thought away. I'm not actively doing anything other than just being present and watching the movie. Here I go, watching the movie. Oh, look at what my thoughts are doing today. Oh, look at what my brain is doing today. Oh, look at what my body is doing today. Okay, I'm just watching. Our presence has got to be at the top of our list. Here's the other thing. Pay attention to the body. Become unwavering in your allegiance to doing the best that you can to give the body what it is asking for, because it's asking for it for a reason. It is asking for it because it is on this journey with you and it wants to evolve, but it needs your support to do so. Am I making myself clear? How often do we get the oh, my body's asking for, water, or my body's asking for salad, my body's asking for raw fruit or food, my body's asking for something fresh and whatever. So I'm going to have a pizza and a bottle of wine. No, girl, no. You can eat whatever the fuck you want, but don't be surprised when you continually and consistently ignore what the body is asking for. Don't be surprised when shit starts to go sideways. And that's for everybody. I don't care what the shape of your body is in any given moment. There is always a way to become closer, more closely aligned with what the body needs. It's your human. Your body is the house for your human, and your human is your responsibility. You're the divine being that chose it. So if you're not responsible for it, who is? So it is absolutely about doing everything we can to just be present in these teeny tiny moments and trust that A, anything else beyond that is being taken care of on our behalf, and B, when it is time for us to do something big, to make a choice, to make an action, to take a step, then we'll know. How will we know? Because we've taken the time to learn how to listen to ourselves, and so we know what guidance sounds and feels like. I've been saying this for about 1 trillion years now, and I'm going to say it one more time. The body wants what you want. Every part of us wants what we want. It came here to support us in this journey, and when we learn how to listen to it, that's when shit gets magical. The reason that it is so important for us to make these a practice, yoga, meditation, tai chi, whatever, martial arts, everything is a practice. I'm doing it so that I can get better at it. This is why the athlete practices and why the performer rehearses. So that by the time it comes for the big game or opening night, I already know what it feels like when I'm in the zone. I already know what it feels like when I'm in my element. I already know what it feels like to inhabit this character. I already know what it feels like to be the quarterback or the center or the point guard or the whatever. I can't believe I know that many sports terms. Because when the shit goes down, when it's time for me to get real, when there's money on the line, right? When things are at stake, now I'm like, oh, I've got this. I've been practicing this every day for 15 minutes for the past 6 months. Man, I've got this. I know how it feels. So the muscle memory, the energy memory, the mental neural pathways, the body, it just, boom. We learn how to fall into that space of where flow happens. We learn how to fall into that place, that inner landscape, that home base, which, by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, that's what the emotional architecture has been all about, is giving you the tools to create your own sense of home. The home you never had, the home you always wanted, the home you deserve. And I'm not talking about the physical building, although that's an extension of it. I'm talking about this internal home, the only place you ever really live. The reason that we're always talking about learning what your truth feels like is so that by the time it comes for you to express it, it's a no-brainer. And when we are in this place like we are now, where everything is topsy-turvy energetically and nothing seems to make sense, and it's like, what day is it? What planet am I on? What's my name? Where am I? At least the one thing I have, no matter what, the thing we always have access to is that sense of home. That sense of connection, that sense of stability and peace, and knowing that no matter what's going on out here, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. It might be intense now, it might be challenging now, it might be scary now, it might be overwhelming now, it might be white knuckle, holy fuck, what the shit is it? It might be that, but you still have this. You always have this. And frankly, that's all there ever is. And if you haven't learned how to connect here, live from here, create from here, it's just, this is going to continue to collapse and fall apart, right? When we're looking for sustainability, that's where this begins, right? I can sustain my connection. That's easy, man. I know where that is. I know how to find that. No matter how intense things are going down, I can always find this. So fall back into yourself. Fall back into what's going on. Fall back in and trust yourself. It's a trust fall back into yourself is really what March is all about. Because we didn't come this far only to come this far, right? There's a couple of other things that I will share with you, and these are really, really helpful in giving yourself a mindset for the day. Because a lot of what I'm seeing right now is that so much of our work is happening internally and at these higher energetic levels that physically people are like, well, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of walking through my day. I'm not really busy. And trust me, just because you're not busy from the outside perspective, just because you're not sort of, busy in terms of how we have defined being busy, doesn't mean that there's not a lot happening on levels that you can't even see physically. So it's important to honor that. It's important to nurture that. It's important to trust whatever's coming up and be curious about it. And it is also important to have an intention for the day. So give me a thumbs up, heart emoji, whatever emoji you want to do. If one, you are good at it setting intentions and do it consistently. I'm getting better at it. And B, give me a heart or thumbs up or another emoji if you're confused about how do I even fucking make an intention? What is an intention? I don't even know what an intention is. The way that I think of intention is this. But first, water. The way that I think of intention is this. Intention, quite simply, is creating a container. I'm either creating a container for the moment, right? I'm setting the intention when I connect with a client, so I create a container for the client experience. I'm setting an intention for a group event, so I'm creating a container for the group event for the 2 hours or whatever that I'm working with someone, or the full day for the class. Or I'm setting an intention for the day. I'm setting an intention for the moment. I'm creating a container for the day or for the moment. It looks something like this. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, hopefully before you get out of bed. Now, if you're one of those people that is like, oh my God, I wake up and I'm scrambling and I just jump out of the bed and I run to the door. Girl, go to bed earlier or set an alarm. Give yourself 2 minutes in the morning, 120 seconds that you can just be silent and in the moment and set an intention for the day. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be something like this. Today, my intention is to nurture peace. Today, my intention is to elevate ease. Today, my intention is to create an experience that is as free from resistance as I can. Today, my intention is to listen, to receive, to be present in the moment so that I can receive what is coming to me. Today, my intention is to let my problems go and let spirit take them, right? Let go and let God. I'm just for today, I'm going to let go of my obsession with my problems, my attachment to my problems. And I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to let it ride. I promise you, if those problems really exist and if they still need your attention, they'll be there tomorrow. Okay? So an intention is simply stating energetically, I am focusing on love. I am focusing on ease. Today, my intention is I am nurturing peace. I am nurturing connection. I am nurturing community. And then whatever you choose, write it on a Post-it note, send it as a reminder to go off every hour on your phone, text yourself, whatever, I don't know, send it to an email in yourself, I don't know. Okay, so today my intention was ease. So I'm going to send myself a reminder. I set a reminder on my phone to go every 2 hours. It just says ease. And that's the moment to go, oh, okay, wait. Okay, in this moment, I have 2 seconds and I can stop and I can just cultivate ease. I can look for ease. I can create a space for ease because this is what our most powerful thing is. If you guys have been watching The OA on Netflix, I am obsessed with this show. In my opinion, The OA is like channeled material from way, way up there in some other dimension that is here to really expand our consciousness, just like The Matrix did, right? It's so funny because I was talking about this with a friend the other day about how when The Matrix came out, it was so mind-blowing and everyone was like, what? And it was such a zeitgeist moment. And now it's like, oh yeah, totally, we're living in a controlled thing. Yeah, it's The Matrix. I mean, even boring old fucking dusty science is talking about this. Oh, scientists may have concluded that we are in an environment that is, yeah, duh, welcome to the party, right? But the OA and its focus on dimensional travel is taking us to that next level. And there's so many beautiful things. You know, look, it's not a perfect show. There are a lot of, moments in the watching that show that I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? But it is worth it. It is so mind-blowing. And I won't do any spoilers, but one of the things that they talk a lot about in the second season is really dimensional travel and kind of how to do it. And one of the common threads they realize is, what was your focus when you were jumping, when you were getting ready to jump from one dimension to another? What was your focus? What were you thinking about? What was in your mind? What was your body vibrating emotionally and energetically? You guys, this is like spiritual creation 101. This is reality building. This is how you build a fucking world. What do I want my experience to be here? What do I want primarily to focus on today? If I'm jumping dimensions, what do I want the vibration of that dimension to be? What do I want to attract? It's like a key into a lock. If I've got the key for joy and I'm saying, man, I'm going to find the lock for joy because that's what I've got, then that key is only going to fit the lock for joy, right? Do you feel me? So when I wake up in the morning and I'm scrambling and I'm going crazy and I'm still angry about last night or pissed off about this morning or stressed about this afternoon, and I'm not giving myself at least 120 tiny little seconds to say, man, I got a really, really big day ahead of me. There's a lot of important things happening today, and many of them are way outside of my comfort zone. So today, I intend to cultivate faith. I intend to cultivate trust that wherever I am is where I need to be, and that wherever I am is where I have chosen to be, and that whatever is in front of me is the most valuable experience that I can possibly be having in this moment. That's why I'm having it, because it's valuable. So it is deceptively simple, right? And simple is not easy. Simple is a fucking challenge. I have shared this with you before, but in a previous incarnation in this life, I was a makeup artist and a makeup artist trainer. I used to teach people how to do makeup. And I could always tell who was new because they wanted to use all the colors all at once on every single face. Everyone was a fucking rainbow. Everyone was a unicorn, right? Everyone was a tropical clownfish. And they just wanted to go crazy. And I love that. Yes, your enthusiasm is amazing. But I would not call that a masterfully crafted makeup. I would not call that something that has beauty in its simplicity. And to me, the mark of an amazing makeup artist was one person who could use like 2 products and make that face look like a masterpiece. So mastery is all about simplicity. Simplicity is never about easy. We arrive at simplicity after years and years and years of going through all the stuff to narrow down for us what is true. What does truth feel like to me? So, simplicity. Keep it simple. And that is really, ironically, where we are right now. That's the key to everything. This is always complicated. This is always complicated. The mental world is complicated and illusory and, made of horse shit and duct tape. The mental world, oh my God, it's a maze of house of horrors. So, when things are feeling convoluted, when things are feeling stressful, when things are feeling, oh my God, stop. That's always a sign that I am not in my heart. Because the truth is always simple. So when I let this fall away and I just drop back into here, I say, okay, yes. I sense the anxiety. I'm aware of the sorrow. I feel the sadness and I want to have a moment of feeling it, right? And we allow ourselves to feel what we feel. But it's simple. It's easy. Whatever is in the moment is all you need to focus on. Whatever is in the moment is the most valuable thing for you. And anything else is just a distraction. Anything else is just a bright, shiny object that the mind is trying to distract us because it thinks that it's helping. It thinks that it's helping. We are in this zone that the mind has never been before. It has no map of this terrain. So it's freaking the fuck out. Guess what? You already have a map. And it's in here. And the way that you access it is by paying attention to how you feel. if I'm picking up my phone to play a game, to play Angry Birds for 4 hours, and I feel anxious because I'm doing it, that is a sure sign that this is not the highest choice for me. If it stresses me out to think about doing it, then there's something within me that needs some love, needs some attention, needs some massaging. And it may just be that my mind is freaking out about the unknown. And so it's trying to pick a distraction to put in front of me. But my body is saying, no, I don't want you to be distracted. I want you to be here with me. And even if that means that we just sit on the couch and stare at the ceiling, that's better than letting your awareness be and your consciousness be sunk into some game while all sorts of stuff is going on that you're not paying attention to. And then 4 hours later, you're like, why am I so stressed out? Why am I so anxious? Why? Because you haven't eaten, you haven't had a drink of water, you haven't been breathing deeply, and you haven't been present. You've been off in Angry Birds land. So keep it simple, keep it clear, and keep it in the moment. Because what we're doing really is our creator self, this massive influx of energies that have been coming in since November, really, but especially since the beginning of the year, have just been knocking down walls, clearing space, making more room for the fullness of ourselves to be embodied. Now more than ever, we are holding more and more of our creator essence in our form right here. It's not something that I have to go up and access necessarily anymore. Just let yourself be present. Allow. Because here's the deal, you guys. We always talk about manifestation. Oh, I'm manifesting this. I'm manifesting that. I'm manifesting this. No, you're not. No, you're not. It already exists. Everything that you are going to experience has already been written. So what you're doing is you're not manifesting it. You're creating a space for what already exists to emerge into your awareness. You are creating the path so that you can intersect at the point in time and space where what you want already exists. And when I'm all caught up in this drama in here and I'm all twisted and turned and tangled about what she's doing and he did and they might do, I am certainly not on any direct path. I am convoluted and tangled and twisted, and the minute that I stop, drop into here, take a breath, and just say, okay, what is valuable for me right now? There's a reason that I'm here. Why isn't really important? What isn't really important? If I listen to this, it will guide me. It will create a space for that to come in or to open up. So there's not just one answer, but you've got the tools. You already know how to do this. And if you don't, I can help. If you don't remember, my job is to help you remember. I'm here to help you remember how powerful you already are. And until you believe it, then I hold space for that. Until you believe that, I hold the mirror up and I reflect it back and go, do you believe it now? Do you believe it yet? Okay, you don't have, I'll hold this mirror, girl. I will stand here and hold it for you until you believe it. My job is to help you remember what you already know. I'm basically the instruction manual. You got the goods, you just need to remember how to use them. So just be present. Just let what wants to fall away, let it fall away. Lose your attachments to who you used to be. Lose your attachments to what was. Trust that the only reason we are ever being asked to let go of or surrender anything is because it is complete, because it's done, because we don't need it anymore. And it's always a higher expression that is ready to remove in, right? When I'm talking, we've talked about this before, the blocks. It's not a block, girl. You're not blocked. It's a stepping stone. You just got to level up your awareness. And once you do, you look down and you go, oh my God, it was so clear. Oh my God, duh, it was so clear. It's just that when I'm at the bottom looking up, I go, man, that looks really high. I don't think I can get up there. But you do. And you will. It's inevitable. Here's the other thing I want to leave you with as we wrap up. The fact that you are aware. I'm blocked. What's blocking my energy? I feel blocked. What's going on? Why am I blocked? The fact that you are aware of the fact that you are blocked or that you feel blocked means that you're already in the process of dismantling that. So trust that when something comes into your awareness, you just observe it. Oh, hello, what is this? And it might say, I need you to feel me. I have opened up a pocket of anger or hurt or rage or sadness, and I need you to feel this so that we can get it out, right? So you have the cry, you have the scream, you have the whatever. Oh, you let it go. Sometimes it rises up just so that we can observe it. Sometimes it needs to be hands-on. Sometimes we just need to sit back and allow it. You will know in the moment, whatever feels like the closest approximation of the right thing to do that. And if it ends up falling apart and blowing up in your face, well, lesson learned, and you do better the next time. The universe is self-correcting. You don't have to control everything, so unclench. It's gonna be fine. It's like GPS. If I go left when I should have gone right, it'll get me back there. It'll get me back there. So trust yourself. Trust yourself. You know so much more than you think you do. You are so much more powerful than you believe, than you have been allowed to believe, than you have been taught. You are so much brighter and bolder and more powerful than you can even fathom. So trust it. Trust it and do what feels like the closest approximation to the best decision that you have access to in the moment. And that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. You just got to be willing. You got to be curious, and you got to be present. So put down the phone and go for a walk around the block. Put down the phone, turn off the TV, turn off the computer, and just close your eyes and breathe for 5 minutes. If the mind, here's another one I'll leave you with. If the mind is trying to distract you saying, oh, well, maybe we should play this game, or oh, maybe we should do that thing, or oh, maybe we should text that ex or that person that we hate. Maybe, trying to stir up trouble. Because again, the mind just wants something that it understands and is familiar. It doesn't care if it's a miserable, horrible thing because it understands that. Say to yourself, okay, this feels like a distraction. And just say to it, okay, yeah, give me 5 minutes and then I promise we can do that thing. I promise you in 5 minutes, you're gonna have forgotten about it or you're gonna be on to something else. So make deals with yourself. Yeah, you can do that horrible, awful thing that always makes you unhappy. Sure, you can drink that gallon of bleach, but just do it in 5 minutes. Now, let's be clear, I'm not telling you to go drink bleach, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the mind is coming up with some stuff that I'm like, who the fuck decided that was a good idea? I don't know who's running the show up there, but y'all need to really, really ask some questions about what it is that you're offering up to me. So, is this choice moving the mark on the life that I want to create? Yes or no? Is the person that I know myself to be, would that person do these things that I am thinking about doing? Yes or no? This is where the rubber hits the road, you guys. Are you the person that you say you are? Are you doing the things that light you up? When people ask you who you are and what you're doing, is what you're saying true? Are the choices and actions that you are participating in aligned with who you say you are or who you want to be? And that's not an indictment. I'm just saying, get real with yourself. Why am I doing this? Why do I do this? And just look at it. Become curious about it. And set the intention. I am setting the intention today that I am going to be open and curious about everything that arises within me and allow it to have a voice so that I can then decide which choice I want to exercise. Don't believe everything you think. 99% of it is horse shit. So, that's it. Again, all of my services are reduced, so go to andrewmartin.energy. You can look at the sessions page and the Mastery Mentorship page if you want to book a session. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all Andrew Martin Energy. I think I'm going to do the Emotional Architecture class again in April. I'm still looking at some dates. I'm also working on places in Los Angeles to hold classes and have a live energy gathering again. So keep your eyes open for that, LA, because that's going to be coming in April as well. The subscription platform is coming soon. The leveling up of all that I offer is coming soon. I don't have details, but what I'm going to say is If you've been wanting to book a session with me under my existing offerings, if you wanted to get in at the current rates for anything, do it now, because I have some ideas of what is changing. Nothing is set in stone, but I'm here to say that everything is going to be changing. So some things are going to go away, some things are going to be reshaped and reformed and repackaged, and some things are going to be brand new. That's all I'm going to say, because that's all I really know. Love you guys. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for giving me your time here this Friday morning or afternoon, whatever it is now. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the tail end of March, and I will see you soon in just a couple days with the April energy transmission. Thank you again to everybody that donated. For those of you who asked, if you're still interested in making donations, you can go to my website, andrewmartin.energy. There's a button at the top for donations. Donations are amazing because they help me to continue to create free content for you and do the other stuff that I'm working on. It just supports me because I am the only one running the show here. That's it. I love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Mwah! Take care.